And now we jump into chapter 7. You'll notice as we turn over to chapter 7, verse 1, that now we're in year 4 in the 9th month on the 4th day. So 2 years have passed since everything that's come in those first 6 chapters. And in those 2 years' time, they've been building up the temple, they've been working, and they've also been doing other things that they're supposed to do, like fasting. And Zechariah picks up this theme of fasting. Look at verse 5. The Lord commanded him to speak unto all the people of the land and to the priests, saying, when ye fasted and mourned in the 5th and 7th month, even those 70 years, did ye at all fast unto me, even to me? It's this question of, did you just go hungry, or were you actually fasting to me? Were you doing the right thing for the right reason? And then he goes on to say, when you did eat and when you did drink, did not ye eat for yourselves and drink for yourselves? Should ye not hear the words which the Lord hath cried by the former prophets when Jerusalem was inhabited and in prosperity, and the cities thereof round about her, when men inhabited the south and the plain? He's saying, look, are you doing these fasts to be seen of men? Could be one way to look at this. Or were you doing this to me? Were you going without that food and that water for that day as a sign that you wanted to connect with me, that you wanted more revelation, more strength from heaven? You'll notice verse 11, how he describes the people of the past. But they refused to hearken, and they pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. They disengaged from the work of God, and they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. He's giving them this outline of why the exile and the Babylonian captivity happened in the first place, and he's reminding the people, you're a new generation. Don't repeat the same problems that your ancestors did with those prophets. With us today as prophets, Zechariah and Haggai, they're pleading with them to put their shoulder to the wheel, unstop their ears, listen to the words of the Lord, and do those things that they're being told. And then you jump into chapter 8, and he says, verse 3, thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. It's this idea of, you're going to be able to stay here. You're not going to be conquered and carried off. You're actually going to be here long enough for the men and women to grow old, where they need to lean on their staffs in the city. And not just the old people. Verse 5, the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. You're going to prosper. God's going to multiply you and give you that peace and prosperity in this city if you'll just listen to the prophets, build the temple, keep working on connecting with God through fasting and these sacrifices. And then verse 6 says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in my eyes, saith the Lord of hosts? To me, he's saying, look, this is really easy for me to do. If you'll just turn to me, this isn't going to be a huge marvel for me to accomplish. This is very simple if you'll just trust me and turn to me. Even though it will be a marvel to you and everybody around you, it's not a difficult thing for me to pull this off and to bless you and sanctify your efforts.